Hello, and thanks for joining us on our show, Basic Concepts in the Wisdom of Kabbalah with Dr. Michael Laitman. Hello, Dr. Laitman. Hello, everyone. On our show, we take one concept at a time from the tremendous wisdom of Kabbalah and try to explain it in the simplest and most heart-touching way for someone who just became interested in Kabbalah. And our concept for today is reflected light. Before we begin, I wanted to share something. When I hear these words, reflected light, it sounds very mechanical and reminds me of high school physics, with mirrors and optics and all that stuff. Now, to me, it was really, really boring. How does it work in Kabbalah when we talk about reflected light? Is it something technical or is it also emotional?
Let's
say someone treats you with tremendous warmth and sweetness and emotion and whatnot. And you thought and tried, and you were able to give that feeling back to that person. But really, the same way you feel that he treats you, you try to relate to him. Usually, we can't really do it. What can you do? That's life. But suppose we were to succeed, and then that means that we're returning to that source of the good and pleasant relation, reflected light. So you said warmth, you said sweetness. Are these the emotions, feelings that exist in reflected light? Warmth, sweetness, a broad heart, the beauty of relationships, a sense of confidence, anything that comes from an open heart. Sounds beautiful. It is. So, from what I heard, Kabbalah talks a lot about light in relation to the relationship that exists in the root of creation, that the Creator is the general force of creation that has the desire to give, and He wants to delight His created beings, and therefore He created the created beings to have someone to give to, which is called light. What is light? Good? Good? Good. Okay. It's the good that the Creator wants to give to His created beings? Yeah. So what is reflected light then? That the created being wants to give back to the Creator. Give him back what? The same good relation. Where does the light come from? Where does it go back to? We can get a good attitude, a good relation from the Creator. And we can give back to the Creator the same good relation. When we were kids and we drove our bikes, we had like this reflector, like a sticker that used to reflect the light, and then you could see my bike at night, etc. And it's very important in order to be seen. Now, this reflector that I had on my bike, is it somehow related to reflected light? No. In a person who wants to give back the same relation to the source of light, to give back the same kind of attitude, then a person arranges himself such that he can give that same attitude to the source. To return, what does it mean? That I feel good, and in their relation toward me, I feel how much they love me, want me, come closer to me, want to give me plenty and abundance. And then I, too, want to establish myself that way towards Him in warmth and good, willing to help him in everything, etc. Would it be true to say that before the created being reflects or returns light to the Creator, he's like a black color that swallows everything inside itself? I also don't think that he swallows, he simply doesn't feel the light. In the measure to which the created being wants to give the light back to the Creator, the same relation, to that measure he starts going into a connection with the Creator, an interaction, and then is it possible to say that there is some kind of connection between them. You told me that there is a precondition to the created being feeling the light. Right. What is it? That the created being wants to connect to the Creator in the same attitude in which the Creator connects to him. And only then, when he wants to give him back the warmth and good, etc., only then does he feel the light coming to him from the Creator? Yeah? There's another example that we see in nature. The moon doesn't have light of its own. It only reflects the sunlight. Is that somehow related to the mechanism? There are many. I don't know how to put it, but there are many things that reflect the light, and by that we identify it, see it by color, by size, by different discernments. Suppose in relation to the moon, it seems like something passive. Right. Besides the sun in our solar system, there is no distant stars. When the created being reflects light, is it passive or active? What created being do you see doing it? No, I mean, in the root of creation, is it active or passive? Active. What is active about it? Because the created being needs to want to reflect the light and to perform special actions in reflecting the light. Meaning that he wants to stop himself from receiving the light and to want to reflect the light. Why? He wants to be like the Creator. And what does it mean? That he does this act of the action of reflecting the light, returning it consciously out of understanding, and he is interested in it. So, like the Creator is the source of light, the created being turns into the source of light. This is what motivates him to reflect the light. Yeah, he wants to be like the Creator. You have to look at it from the Creator's point of view. What does he want? Why does he give light? You need to give him back light. What's the idea behind it? The Creator wants for the created being to understand him, that the created being will become like him. You're smiling like it's really pleasant. The reflected light allows the created being to understand the Creator, to understand him, to be like him, to reach the Creator's degree, to really connect, to hug the Creator, to embrace the Creator. Why? How does it work? Because the created being becomes by it like the Creator. It's called from your actions do we know you. That means what? That the more we perform actions of bestowal, and love, and connection, and closeness like the Creator, accordingly we start understanding Him, feeling Him. When the created being reflects light to the Creator, does the Creator enjoy it? Yes. What exactly does he enjoy? The created being's attitude towards him. It's something that he lacks? Yes, it is. You might say that he creates all of creation, all the worlds, galaxies, stars, everything that there is. Things that maybe we don't even know, even a single % about all those things that he has created. But everything that he did create, it is all in order for us to feel his attitude toward us. that it is love, unbounded love, unlimited love. Reflected light allows us to feel this kind of love of the Creator towards us. Yes. So it's like the Creator playing ping pong with himself. Well, I can't say that that's how it is, that the Creator is playing with himself, even though that's how it says that he plays with the whale. There is something about it, but actually, he's giving us the ability to attain him, to be like him. What does to attain mean? To attain means to know, to feel, to understand in a whole and complete way. What are the results of the reflected light? Suppose there's a created being that reflects light to the Creator. What's the result? Then he starts feeling as if the Creator is giving him. He feels what? That he's giving. He feels himself as a giver, just like the Creator gives to the created being. So does the created being gives to the Creator too. He feels himself in the so-called equivalence of form, as we call it in the wisdom of Kabbalah, equivalence of form with the Creator. And what does that do for him? He feels, he understands the Creator. Then how does the Creator feel when he governs the world? How does he govern the world? How does he connect to everyone? These are very special and deep matters. Before the created being gives reflected light, he has no vessels to understand the Creator? No. How can you understand the Creator? By what? Suppose today you're a dad. You have boys and girls. A girl and 4 boys. If, God forbid, or let's say, before your kids were born, could you imagine what does it mean to be a father? No, not at all. Exactly. So until the created being does something like the Creator, which is to give light, or like it says here, to reflect light, he can't understand what the Creator feels when he himself gives light. Right. It's called From Your Actions Do We Know You. When we perform actions like his, we start grasping it. Okay, I heard that it says in Kabbalah that the reflected light has something that's like a mirror, that you start seeing that the reflected light allows to see. What do you see? You see in the reflected light the upper world. I see that you're curious. What is the upper world? That in the reflected light you became like the Creator, that you bestow to the Creator like the Creator bestows to you. To bestow is like to give? Yeah. And then what follows is that here you can start understanding, feeling the Creator. When a person faces a mirror, he sees himself in the mirror, right? The mirror reflects light, and then he sees his own image. When the created being reflects light, what does he see? The image of whom? Suppose, well, it's hard to say. Really, here I'm having a hard time to explain this. In that, the created being reflects light to the Creator, he connects to the Creator. The relationship between them becomes deeper, more qualitative, deep and real, and that really pulls them to connection, to a deeper and deeper connection. And what gives the depth? That both of them help The created being helps the creator? Yeah. How does he help him? In that he heads towards him. That's beautiful. So after you describe this magic, I want to ask about myself. Suppose now I start studying Kabbalah and I start spiritually developing. If I understand correctly, in my spiritual development, I too will need to reach a state where I reflect light to the Creator, right? Yeah, in the simplest way, what does it mean? That everything that the Creator wants to give you, in this entire life, you do think about how to give back to Him. How will I give back to Him? I don't know. You need to think. You need to give back. This thought will develop me? Yeah? So I need to think about how to give back. There are such that say, there are people that say that they communicate with different entities, they get information from above to reflect light to the Creator, something like it? No. What then? To reflect light to the Creator means that it means that I position myself opposite to Him and really want to do everything to His benefit. I heard a lecture of yours where you said that the Creator is the general force of nature. How can I do something to the benefit of the general of nature? In that you present Him to all created beings and present all created beings to Him. And you connect between the two and draw them closer. So I become a mediator? Yeah. I acquaint the Creator with all the created beings. Right. And in that I reflect light onto Him. Yeah. What did I reflect or give Him back by it? You brought all the created beings closer to Him as much as you could. So I need to give them some kind of insight, some kind of feeling, what? Everything that you need in order for them to connect to Him. The Creator can't connect to them directly. Why does He need Oren in the middle? Without Oren, He can't connect to them. Why? Because that's how it is. That's His condition. What does this condition mean exactly? That He wants to be connected to all the created beings by all other created beings. So He made this trick. He created the created beings. Instead of directly connecting to them, He wants for the created being to connect between Him and the other created beings. Yeah. I heard that it's also called in the wisdom of Kabbalah to reflect light to Him also means to give Him contentment. What does it mean? Do you understand what contentment is? Yeah, it's a good feeling. It's something that there's nothing sweeter than that. So why were these words chosen to give contentment to the Creator? Well, I don't have the words for it in Hebrew, but I think that these words are correct. That what fills the spiritual discernments is the contentment that we want for the Creator to have contentment from us. Suppose I'll develop in advance and give the Creator contentment. Personally, what will I get from it by giving the Creator contentment, reflected light? Contentment and reflected light. To me, I understood that I have to give it to the Creator. Right, but what will I get out of it? Suppose I'll do all that. What will I get out of it? I don't know what to tell you. I think that to give the Creator contentment is a great achievement The created being needs to be very content in life if he comes to that. Why? Because he came to giving contentment to the Creator. Kabbalah says that reflected light opens a new reality for man, meaning what? He starts feeling, seeing the spiritual world. The upper world. What kind of world? The upper world. It starts coming to us from the Creator's different actions. And our person doesn't grasp it? No. Why will the reflected light open that world for me? Because you'll perform the same actions as the Creator. The upper world is the world of the Creator? Yeah. Kabbalah further says that reflected light gives man the ability to be independent, to release himself of the Creator's control over him. How? What? He's no longer under pressure that he needs to be pressured for him to bestow, to give, to do something, but to the contrary. He puts pressure on himself, asking, when will my actions become like the actions of the Creator? So that's beautiful. If a person puts pressure on himself, no one else does right. Also, Kabbalah says that with the help of reflected light, there is a connection established between me and the Creator. Yeah, it's a mutual connection that you become similar to each other, you give to each other, and therefore there's no pressure here, no necessity, but to the contrary, it is all in a good, nice way. Maybe you can describe a bit what's felt in the very first time when you can give back light to the Creator. Connection with someone who is good, kind, great. If I'll do it, what will people around me feel? Nothing. They won't see it on me? No. So who's going to feel it? You will. Only me? Yeah? Until now, you explained that I need to reflect light, warmth, kindness, a good attitude. It's kind of abstract. I do it in my thoughts and my intentions. In your heart. What do I do there in my heart? You try to feel the Creator. And from heart to heart, try to give your entire good attitude towards Him, back to Him. Suppose I get up tomorrow morning, I'll eat breakfast, go to work, come back in the evening, go to sleep. Throughout the entire routine day, I can give reflected light to the Creator all the time, ceaselessly. Where? Give me an example. Think about Him all the time and think, how can you give Him good? Do good to Him every moment. It's the second time that you're telling me already. Think how to do good to the Creator. Previously I asked you, you said, think. The thought in and of itself will develop me? Of course. You need nothing besides the thought. It's like from morning till evening, I think about myself and, all day long I think about myself and my kids. Isn't it boring? No, I feel pressure all the time, everywhere, from all directions. What's going to happen? How's it going to happen? You're saying, start thinking about someone who's not in your playground. The Creator is actually in the center of your playground, because who are you dependent on if not Him? So what actually are you telling me here? You tell me? You're saying that all of my thoughts about myself and my kids and what's going to happen and how, etc., 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 deep inside, in the center, is the main player, the Creator. Yeah, and He cooks and turns all these things, demanding you to treat your life seriously, and He awakens all of these concerns in you, for you to understand that they come from Him. So what is reflected light? Reflected light is when you turn to the Creator that you turn to the Creator and you want to be connected to Him. I heard that in Kabbalah it said that you can give the Creator reflected light through my attitude towards others, towards other people. What's the connection? What's the relation? Well, it's not exactly like we said, but you can also, in your attitude toward the friends, towards your relatives, to the measure in which you relate to them, you can add your attitude towards the Creator to it. So what kind of attitude do I need to give so that it will be reflected light? How should I treat others? That you want to be connected with them and connect them, and that way to come closer to the Creator. My connection to other people brings me closer to the Creator? Yeah. Why? Because you want to bestow good onto them. If you want to affect them for the better. So there's like a chain of good relations here. I need to relate in a good and nice way towards others, and it will connect me to the source of good, to the Creator. Right? Okay, unfortunately, in a moment, we need to finish. Give me the simplest definition for reflected light. What is reflected light? The attitude that the created being gives back to the Creator, the relation. And how does that feel? It is felt like there's a connection between them. What do I need to do in order to reach reflected light? You need to be good like the Creator in something. I, as if myself, start illuminating. Yeah, of course. What does it mean? What does reflected light mean then? That you become the source of light. Any person can. Has to. Has to meaning what? Has to. That eventually every person has to reach a state where he gives back to the upper light what the upper light sends him. It's like the twist that the Creator planned for us to begin with. Yeah. Suppose I start studying Kabbalah on a regular basis. What do you wish me in relation to reflected light? To read about it. There are many articles about it by Bala Sulam and Rabash. It said in the book of Zohar, in the measure to which you have reflected light, you're like the Creator. You are like the Creator. You can be like Him. So what do you wish me? To be like Him? That you will entirely be light. I wish. Thank you very much, Dr. Laitman. Good luck to all of you. Thank you. Thanks for being with us. Basic concepts in the wisdom of Kabbalah, reflected light. All the best.